Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Max Kellerman has been getting some heat because of his comments over Oleksandr Usyk. He said that Usyk is overrated or becoming overrated as a heavyweight champion. And he cites the lack of depth of Usyk's heavyweight resume as the reason for his opinion. Now, I'm going to read you what Max said, and then you can sort of make your own mind up, I suppose. I think the problem I have with anything like this is that, Usyk's not done yet. I know he's 38, but I don't like historically judging fighters while they're still active. I think that can be quite a precarious thing to do because they might go on and achieve more. And also, it's not really fair to compare someone who's still fighting with people who've had their careers because, the dust hasn't yet settled. And also, some victories can improve, if you like, with age. And some can actually dip as well because people say, well, he wasn't as good as we thought he was. But other victories, you can say, well, actually, looking back, that's a really good win. So, plus the fact, of course, that Usyk's opponents at heavyweight are all still, well, Fury's retired, but we know he's coming back. That's kind of a given. So they themselves could increase their resumes and therefore it would look better on Usyk. So there is the argument that of quality over quantity as well. Because Usyk, although he's knocked out Dubois twice, he's beaten Joshua on points twice, and he's beaten Fury on points twice. He's also got a win over Derek Chisora, who's a sort of world-level gatekeeper type. But is on a three-win streak. He's won his last 3 fights. So, okay, lack of depth, yes, but what about the quality of it? All right. So let's have a look at what Max said. He said, over time, people have started to overrate Usyk as a heavyweight champion, but underrate him as a pound-for-pound fighter. He's not talking about Usyk the fighter, he's talking about Usyk the heavyweight, okay? Usyk, is one of the best boxers, regardless of weight class, in the history of the sport, okay? But speaking strictly about heavyweight, his resume, although very high in quality, is still a bit short. He hasn't beaten, say, 10 top heavyweights, has he? No, he hasn't. Neither has anyone else in the heavyweight division, but all right, fair enough. And even when we look back on Usyk's place in history, yes, he beat Fury twice, he beat Joshua twice, and then someone like Parker will be a name you recall on that list. Even if Usyk beats him, there will still be the question, who else did he beat? And we'll say, well, Joshua beat Parker, so Parker becomes a name used to bolster the resumes of other champions. Okay. When you think of someone like Muhammad Ali, it wasn't only that he beat Fraser, Foreman, Lyle and Norton. He fought Jerry Quarry, Oscar Bonavena, Ron Lyle, Ernie Shavers, Henry Cooper, Doug Jones, a long list of strong opponents. Evander Holyfield, same thing. It wasn't just that he beat Tyson or fought Lewis. He took revenge on Riddick Bowe. He fought Mercer and many others. So many, I can't recall all of them right now, okay? Fair enough. But the key is he fought all the best of his generation, and that, I think, is what truly matters. Okay, I kind of know what Max is getting at here, but first, let's point out also that if you're going to talk about a still active Usyk and make comparisons with Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, or anyone else, it does show that the fact that he's in that argument puts him very, very, very highly. But again, I get back to the quality, not quantity. Now let's compare Usyk's short heavyweight resume with, let's take Anthony Joshua as an example. I think Joshua is an underrated heavyweight. I think for whatever reason, maybe some people don't like him or whatever, I don't know. But he was actually at his peak, a good heavyweight, very good heavyweight, and he was not ducking anyone. He did not duck Wilder. Cut the bullshit, get your facts right. He didn't duck Wilder. It was quite the contrary. It was probably the other way round, or not so much Wilder ducking AJ, but holding out for for the power trip of calling the shots, and his team probably ducked Joshua, and with good reason. So he didn't duck anyone. He fought his mandatories. He tried to collect all the belts. Came a bit short, but did have 3 of them. So it wasn't quite undisputed, but good fighter nevertheless. Knocked out Dillian Whyte, was the first person to beat Whyte, knocked him out when that was for a British title fight. And we know what Whyte did after that. That victory looks very good. Beat Parker on points. Everyone's singing the praises of Parker nowadays, which is fine, because Parker is a very good heavyweight. Deserves his shot at Usyk, but took his WBO belt back in the day, long time ago, but it's still a good win. He beat good people. Maybe a couple of them will pass their best, like Pulev and Povetkin, and perhaps seen better days. But if you look at their records, they don't have many defeats on their record. Not at all. Not at all. They had good resumes. And you could also argue that Pulev and Povetkin, as 2 examples, were never the same afterwards. Even though they may have both been past their peak, Joshua kind of finished them off with the beatings he gave them. Even people like Takam had something left at the time. And Takam gave Joshua a good fight, of course, busted his nose and everything. But I think Joshua's underrated. So those 2 victories are very good victories for Usyk. But Joshua had a good resume. The point is, he didn't win them all. He did not beat Usyk. Usyk beat him twice. All right, and he lost to Ruiz, and he got flattened by Dubois, who was, knocked out twice by Usyk. Now let's have another career heavyweight, Deontay Wilder. Do I need to say anything more than Deontay Wilder? Name me one person that Wilder has beaten who you would rate as anywhere near to being a Hall of Fame heavyweight. You can't, can you? He fought Fury 3 times. It was a great trilogy, a lot of fun, but essentially he lost all 3 of those fights. Who else did he fight? He got knocked out by Zhang. He lost to Parker. Not looking good for Deontay, although he did kind of maximise his ability. He was a one-trick pony with a hell of a trick. But let's move on to Fury himself. Now, he had great victories. I think Fury brought it on himself because he just wouldn't fight top men unless he absolutely had to. And when I say had to, if he wanted the belts, he had to go to Germany and take them off Vladimir Klitschko, which he did, which was an excellent win that hinted at Fury being a really, really good heavyweight. He came back from his little, wilderness years of putting on 10 stone. He had a couple of little runarounds to shed some rust. Then he went in with Wilder, got a draw, which should have been a win. Wilder at the time was extremely dangerous. He hadn't had his one trick flattened out by Malik Scott. So he was still believing that he could flatten anyone and doing it. He put Fury down twice, of course, in the first fight and in the third fight. But ultimately, he lost those 3 fights. Good wins for Fury. Very good wins for Fury. I don't want to hear no bullshit no revisionist crap about, Wilder was always crap and he was always limited technically, but he was a very, very dangerous heavyweight. And those are good wins for Fury. But what else are you going to talk about? A trilogy against Chisora, who Usyk's beaten, and Usyk beat Fury twice. So, the depth of a heavyweight, any fighter's resume is not reliant on the amount of fights they've had. It has to be the quality of the opposition and who they've beaten. Because Max mentioned Evander Holyfield. Okay, Evander Holyfield lost twice to Bo. He won one of them. He essentially lost twice to Lewis, although one of them was called a draw. He fought great fighters. This is not a slur against any of these fighters I'm mentioning. Holyfield, Joshua, Fury. I mean, they're all either very good or great heavyweights. Right. But when you're talking about quality and also quality of opposition and victories over the high quality of opposition, I would definitely say that Usyk is already in the argument. Again, his resume is coming on. It's still being built. So, you know, let's not jump the gun here. Let the dust. So let him retire properly. Let the dust settle, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, just a few thoughts. So I think Max is, of course, Max is, you know, big headlines have put Max under the cosh. You know, Max says Usyk is overrated and all that. Then people have been going in on Max, but it wasn't quite what he said. I don't agree with what he said, actually. Not fully, but I kind of know what he's getting at. So I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what you think. Give me your opinions as always, and please, yeah. Thanks very much for watching the video. Hit the like button if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel too. I always appreciate your support. Thank you very much. I will speak again to you soon. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.